Hello there, it's Kim again, coming to you with another paper crafting video. Today I'm going to catch up on some paper pumpkin. Just a touch behind, only a month, so I'm going to work on August today. Paper pumpkin is a monthly subscription, surprise subscription, and this month ours is called Farmhouse Florals. So I'm guessing tractors, maybe some milk jugs, something like that. Anyway, I haven't really seen this one, so it's going to be a surprise for me, just like it's a surprise for you. And there's a lot of places online where you can get alternatives, so you can make different things with the components of this kit. But this kit is all inclusive. Your first month, you will get a block that looks like this. It's a bit of a thinner block. But it comes with your first kit, and then you keep that one and it'll help you with all the rest of your kit. I'm going to trade it out today for this one. It's our thicker D block. They're both the same size, so they'll fit the stamps just the same. It's a D block, and it just has these grooves in here. It's a little heavier, so it's a little easier to use. So I'll swap that out. The only other thing they say to bring in is some paper snips, and I like to bring in my take your pick tool, just because it's really great for getting the backings off of the adhesives. But other than that, like, everything's in the kit. Your ink color, all of your cutout pieces, and yeah. So let's open her up and see what we got. Okay, so August, it looks like I get 2 stamps this month, which is a surprise to me. Normally they do that in March, but I guess we get 2 stamps, which is great. There's a lot more sentiments because of that. I will put these aside, and I will pull out usually when they do that though, they only use one set of stamps, and then the other one's just kind of like a freebie. Ooh, Secret Sea is the color. This is everybody's new favorite color. Everybody loves Secret Sea. It's like cross between navy and like a touch of blue, like green in it. It's popular. Okay, and then it comes with our stuffing paper. And then we get our kit stuff. So here we go. Here it is. I'll try and get the glare off there. It looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 3 cards each of 3 designs. And then of course we've got our envelopes, which look to be all the same. And yeah, we're just going to crack it open. We're going to get to it. Now I'm going to only take out one of each thing, because then I can do my own alternatives with the remainder of my supplies. Also, if I want to, I can pull in glue instead of like the glue dots or whatever, because I do have that extra stuff. But everything you need is in this kit to make it. So you can take it camping with you, which I did that once. It was great. It was awesome. I had a great time. Okay, so it looks like we've got some linen thread. We've got our dimensionals. We've got our Secret Sea color. We've got 9 envelopes, all the same, the flaps. No inner linings to those though. Oh, there is a bit of like speckle on them, almost like what it would look like if you made natural paper. I'm guessing like paper where you put it through a screen and it always gets a little bit of color in it, like discoloration, or like a seed paper. It looks like that. So that's a little different. A little bit of texture to that. Okay, so we'll put those aside. We're not really using those. And the same goes for the card bases. They have that textured kind of look to them as well. Okay, so we're going to pull out these instructions. And I'll pull out this piece here because we don't need that. That is great for other kinds of crafting. Okay, so here's our stamp set. For you, thank you, just to know you are loved, to say, forever your friend. Good friends are hard to find. I'm so glad we found each other. So this is really about friends this month. Then we've got your Simply the Best. Simply the Best. Oh, that's such a great song. Thank you for your constant friendship and listening ear. Always here for you, for a great friend. So this is a friendship one. I'm really noticing that. So they're calling Farmhouse Florals and Friendly Florals. Those are great new printouts for photopolymer stamps. So it says here, kit contains supplies for 9 cards and 9 envelopes, 3 each, 3 designs. We've got Calypso Coral, Darling Duckling, that's a new color, Gray Granite, Lost Lagoon, Pecan Pie, and Secret Sea. So not a ton of colors, but yeah. Okay, and then we've got our add-on. So the only way you can get this is if you're a subscriber. So if you want, you can sign up, and then there's a trick to that. You can sign up and then get in here and then not get your first month. And so you can get this if you want to. That's the trick way around it. But yeah, these add-ons are great. I've used these for just last minute cards. I'm able to just pull from the little sets and not have to worry about trying to find stuff. And there's always some fun goodies in there. Okay, so now what we do is we open up the instructions and we go to this first page. This first middle page here is going to show me all the components I need for each card. So we're going to pull these off to the side, all these pieces, and we're going to pull out all of the components out of our pile here. Got a nice big pile here. So the first one I need, I'm going to grab, it looks like just the blank card base here. Yep, okay. So here we go. We've got our blank card base, and I'm going to pile them off to the left here so you can kind of see what I'm collecting here. So we've got our first one. Then we've got all of our die cuts here. So we're getting 3 each of these. And we're getting 3 each of these. So I need 1 of these for that one. I need a... Okay, so they've given us a spare one of these in case we make a mistake. Spare one of these and spare one of these because there's 4 of each of these, right? So that makes easy for alternatives or using up your extra pieces. You can make other cards with them. So that's always fun. You can keep your extra pieces. So we've got 1 of these. And then the rest is all stamps. Stamps, dimensionals, and our stamping. So that's card number 1. Now we'll crack into card number 2. So card number 2, I need a flower basket. So I'm going to put all the pieces that I don't need, the other 2 sets. So we've got our flower basket here. Put the rest of those aside. We've got another basket. Oh, wow. See now, I feel like they're going to dimension this right above this one. Oh, this would be great to be doing alternatives because you don't really need to take this, right? It's just to show that there's the same image underneath, but wowzers. Okay. So there's 2. We need a single flower, a double flower, and a double yellow flower. Okay. So there's that set. Single flower, double yellow flower, and then this tag with the circle on it. Now, these little tabs that hold these in sometimes will kind of stay on the side of your element. I will later trim those off. I know it's annoying to watch, but I will later trim those off because I just really love having nice clean edges to my die cuts. Personal preference. Okay, there we go. And the string. Oh, I need the purse strap too. I forgot about the purse strap. Here we go. Purse strap. And that's all my pieces that I've collected. Perfect. Okay, and then we need number 3, which is our lovely antique typewriter. I actually went and sourced an old antique typewriter out for my mom once upon a time, and the lady was so lovely who I got it from. She was so lovely. She was so grateful that it was going to somebody who wanted to write. Okay. Typewriter, 2 yellow flowers, 1 single flower. So there's our whole sheet. You can see there's no extra pieces there. I mean, you could use this for stencils, I guess, if he wanted to on another project. But yeah, that's no spares to spare there. Okay, and then we've got this piece here for this one. So we use one of each of the little elements, and there we go. Okay. So now what you do is you fold it over and we go to card number 1 and we start doing all the steps they've told us to do. So I will first open my Secret Sea ink pad. So I'm going to pull that open. I just open up my scissors and then I take them pulling away from the body and away from my hand, like not pulling towards my hand, right? Pulling away from my hand. I will take this and I will place the scissors right between the white and the clear top here. And I'll just make a cut line. Just make a cut line there between the two. And then it should just open up real nice. There we go. Nice and open. Now I keep the adhesive on the back and I actually take my stamp pad and I stamp it onto my stamp rather than taking my stamp and trying to stamp it onto here. Because once you lay it down, the lid starts trying to jump back. So that's just my own little tip there, is to stamp your, or ink your stamp, not stamp into your ink. So reverse. Okay. Now we're going to pull out our first card base here, project number 1. Put those ones aside. And I'm going to put the instructions right up here in the frame. Not too far off the frame. Okay. So the first thing it says is we're going to stamp "You Are Loved" and 2 flowers with Secret Sea on our card front. Okay. So let's find those. "You Are Loved" is in the sentiment and the flowers is in the sentiment. The sentiment strong one here. Okay, so I always wash off the factory residue on there. I'm going to pull out "You Are Loved" just for the next step here. Okay, so I'm just going to scrub it off, clean that. Probably shakes the camera a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to grab our Secret Sea. And we're going to, like I said, we're going to stamp or ink the stamp. So we're just tapping lightly. Now that is a juicy little ink spot there. She's juicy for sure. I'm going to stamp it off once on a scrap piece of paper just to make sure that we are getting a good image. That is a strong, dark image. But I know it's good. Okay. So we're doing one with the flowers pointing this way, and then we're going to do one with the flowers pointing this way, and then right in the center, we're going to stamp "You Are Loved." So we got to leave a little bit of space, and we're doing this kind of maybe a slight touch up from center. Not 1/3 up, but a slight touch up from center. And they're stamping this on the inside. So this is supposed to be on the inside of the card. We're actually stamping the inside of the card. Now, if you like the insides of your cards blank, you don't have to do this step. This is the first time I've ever actually stamped the inside of a card with the paper pumpkins. So this is new for me. So I'm actually, because I like to be able to write, I'm going to put this in the top 1/3 of the inside of the card here, because I really love to have room to write my little message. So one going this way, one going that way, this and that. This is honestly the first time I've ever stamped the inside of the cards. This is wild. Okay. New stuff. Okay, now I'm going to lay this down like this and pick it up so it stays in its natural way. Clean that, get that residue off of there. and just in case it moved a little bit. So I lay it down in its natural way, and then I pick it up. Then I know it's not curved, because photopolymer stamps can curve. Like, you can, by accident, curve them a bit when you put them onto the block, because they are flexible. I'm not, but they are. Okay, so you are loved. We're just stamping that right in the center there. Okay, so that's the inside of our card, which, again, I said we've never really done that. But I am going to flip it over, and I'm going to leave it open just in case that blue is still a little bit damp. It shouldn't be, but I don't want to fold it just in case. So I'm just going to tuck it under there, and we're going to start working on our front piece. Okay. We'll put that aside to be washed. And then it looks like we're pulling in this textured, this little textured one here. So I'm going to lay that down again. Do a little cleanup. Factory residue there, so just so that the ink kind of sits on it nice. It likes to kind of pull away if it doesn't get cleaned first. So if you're camping, just take some baby wipes with you. Baby wipes work great for cleaning up your stamps. If you don't want to bring your Stampin' Scrub or anything like that, you can just bring some baby wipes. Wash it off that way. This is water soluble ink, so it will just clean with water. Water and a cloth. Okay. So now we've got the front of our stamp here, and it looks like we're just creating texture. So we're just stamping this like 4 times. It looks like we're doing a bit of overlapping even. We're just, and it doesn't matter because it's going to be behind that. So any of the overlapping, even if it looks like, oh, what a mess did I make? Don't worry about it. We're just creating texture along the bottom. So we've got one here, and we're just doing these kind of right above each other to create texture along the sides. So I'm going to make a little space on this side, not much. And then I'm going to do the other side exact same. Do love this secrecy. It is a pretty, pretty color. Okay, and then that way is like that. I don't know. I like it this. I like it like this better. Maybe it's the same thing. I think it's the same thing. Haha, joke's on me. Okay, so I'm going to center that to my little gap. So I kind of feel like I'm doing the same thing. As you can see, like, it overlapped a lot. Looks a little messy in the middle there. We're not going to see that, so it don't matter. Then I'll do the same spacing on this side. There we go. Okay. Alrighty. Next up, I'm going to stamp my thank you. I should have just washed that first. Just wash that first. I'm just going to get ink all over my fingers when I go to take it off. That would be smart. Right. Right. The smart way of doing things. Let's work on that. Okay, we've got our thank you. Again, we're just going to do a quick clean of that. But then once you've done your little scrub-a-dub, then you don't have to do it again. Okay, so again, laying it down. Pick that up. Pull in our little tag that we have here. Just going to trim all the little factory connectors off of there. They come off super fast. It's not a big deal. Okay, and then we're going to take our Secrecy stamp. Hoping I'm still on screen. Yeah. Okay. This is such a nice font, like super thin line to it. Looks really pretty. I feel like I might be missing the K, a little bit of the K. Let's see. We'll stamp it and then I'll know. So I'm going to line it up with my grid paper here. Then I'm going to stamp the thank you. It looks like we're trying to stay within the green here. Or at least lining up the green bottom with it. Up and down. Look at that. Looks great. The K is all there, even though I thought it was missing. Like, I thought I wasn't going to get a solid stamp. And if you ever have a problem with your stamps, just call Stamping Up and they will get you new ones sent in the mail. if you ever have a factory deficiency in there. That's gonna be cute. Okay, so it looks like we're doing dimensionals all over this. So I just pick up my dimensionals with my take your pick. I lay them down. This is why I love this tool. It's such a great tool. Just makes life real easy. I don't have fingernails, so it's hard for me to pick the backings off things because I don't have long nails. People with long nails, you know they're great tools. I unfortunately am just no good at growing them. Yeah, so this take your pick tool is my buddy. So then we've got 2 on this end. Okay, so we're gonna take, and these are great for taking the backs off. So you just poke in the center like this and pull, and all of your backs will come off of your dimensionals. It's a great little tip. Just poke and pull. Saves so much time rather than being finicky and picking out all those little pieces. Okay, now we're going to take our lovely little scene here. We're going to center that right on the card, like so. And we're going to take our thank you and line it up with the left-hand side, about 1/3 down on the left-hand side. And because it goes over that, it just, yeah, maybe I'll come down a little bit more. It's got it coming down into the window a bit more, according to the image. Those dimensionals are stuck on there real good, but they will come off. The other great thing about your take your pick tool is when you use that, and this end, this pokey end that we just used, you can pull it off, and on the other side is a spatula. So I'm going to use my little spatula to help peel up that dimensional. I'm going to put it back on the back of this piece. So you just saw what an oopsie and the tools that you can use with your oopsies. So this one I'm going to pull it just a little bit down, because in the picture it shows it a little bit further down. Then I'm going to take it and I'm going to fold it, because the inside should be good and dry by now. Then the only other thing I would suggest bringing in, if you have one, is a bone folder. Otherwise you can use the edge of your block. If you're out camping, the edge of your block will work great as a little bone folder to fold your cards. And there we go. There's our first card. Isn't that cute? It doesn't even ask for like any twine or a bow or anything. If I was so inclined, that is what I would do. I would probably add a bow to this, or I'd grab a Wink of Stella pen and just sparkle up something, maybe the flowers. It's very simple, which is probably what they were going for, but I just like to zhuzh them up a little bit. Okay, so there you go. That's number 1. Now you would flip over the page and you would pull in, fold it over again, and we'd be working on number 2. So I'll pull number 2 in, grab all of our little components here, and it looks like we get to stamp inside the card again. So I'm going to push all that off to the right, flip that baby over, and we get to work on the inside again. We're pulling in the flower just like we already did. So the flower is getting used again. We're doing the same thing, but we're going to pull in. Good friends are hard to find. I'm so glad we found each other. That is a great sentiment. Who wouldn't love to receive a card that says that? Okay. So, getting my stamp ready here. Ooh, that's a kitty hair. I'm going to do it further up. Again, it calls for it to be just slightly above halfway. I'm going to go 1/3 of the way. I'm going to fill that 1/3 section from the top here. So I give myself room to write my own notes inside. Ooh, made a mess there. Okay, stamping just below. Got to make a little more space though, because we've got two lines of text in this new sentiment we've got going on. Wash off that stamp, put aside for later. Going to clean this one. Place that there. Pick it up. Okay, make sure it's not upside down. Make sure it's not upside down, lady. Make sure I'm looking at the sentiment the right direction before I stamp it down. Always easier to see once you get the ink on, but I did have it upside down, so that would have been redonkulous if I had messed that up. You could just write on it, scratch out good, and write funny friends are hard to find. The ones who stamp things upside down. Those are funny friends. Okay, that is such a nice, crisp stamp. Like, that photopolymer stamp was very well made. It's almost as crisp as a rubber stamp. It's really good. Okay. All right. Next up, we're going to fold our card. I flipped it over because, again, I don't want that ink to transfer. I don't think it will, but sometimes with the darker inks, they take a second or a smidge more time to dry. Like Night of Navy takes a little bit longer, so I'm not going to take a chance. I'm just going to work on this side only. So I've pulled it over. Now we've got some texture going on underneath across the bag. So we're going to pull in that texture stamp again. Already cleaned and used this one. And I've already seasoned it, so it's ready to go. So we're just going to create that texture again. And then it looks like we've got a For You that's going to go on our tiny little tag with the hole in it. Okay. So we're going straight across the bag here. And it looks like we're going further out. So we're going to be stamping this twice because we're trying to get it longer. As you can see, it's only making it halfway across the bag, so we need to get that texture right across the other side. Right across. Okay. And oops. I dropped that, but I only dropped it on this end, which means it won't matter. Okay. Looking good. Clean it again. Move out my scrap piece of paper there. Pull that off. Because we got to grab our For You stamp now. Here's our little For You. And we haven't used all of them yet. There's still more. Okay. Season that. This summer we had to make a farmhouse photo shoot area, and I met this lovely lady for our local ambassador event. We needed to make a photo shoot area, so we had to have all kinds of things that were farm related for the theme of like country. So I met this lovely lady and she had antiques. Let me tell you. She loved antiques. She was a big collector. So we just grabbed some old milk jugs. And she even pulled some zinnias straight out of her garden. We put those on there. She had a wagon wheel, hay bale, well, straw bales, because hay bales are apparently huge and very heavy and not very easy to put up on a little stage. We wouldn't be able to carry it. Apparently you need a tractor to carry the hay bales. Way too big. So we had some straw bales for bedding. I guess they use them for bedding. Straw bales. And we brought those and the kids sat on those and it was just so much fun. Yeah. So here's our For You. She's inked up pretty good. It was a little bit of a wet one, so I've got to wait for that F to dry it was really inked up. So the For You, so I'm just gonna put all of my backings on everything. So it looks like we need a whole bunch of dimensionals on all these pieces. So I am gonna cut out my factory little tags off these. These are actually pretty good. They must have stayed mostly on the paper. So turning that upside down. I've got this one here. Got a little one there. And a little one there. Turning them upside down. I don't know how we're going to get dimensionals. We're going to have to cut dimensionals in half to get that baby on there because that is finicky. A lot of these ones are usually pretty good. I have a little bit of adhesive on my scissors. I've been using my scissors like crazy, so they are well loved. Okay, dimensionals. So I'm gonna pull that off, get rid of the spatula, pull in our pick part tool. So we've got 5 dimensionals on this bag. You can see how I'm just like, what? This one was just perfect, just the way it was. So to do alternatives, I would double up. I would definitely use these bag pieces for something else. Okay, and then we've got 1 dimensional on all these little flowers. Usually you want 3, any kind of circle or anything, you want to do it in thirds, just like a table. A table can only stand with 3 legs, right? So we kind of try and do the same thing with our dimensional, like our surface areas. It's always odd numbers. But some things will hold just fine with 2. And then we have this tricky bit where we cut one in half, or you can use the edge of your dimensionals. So if you want, you can cut into your edges like this, because these are all same product, right? But I don't think the edges are going to be any smaller than me cutting this in half. Okay, so now I'm going to take the half, put it on one end of my little purse string there. You see that? Yeah. Okay, and then the other half, which was still on here, the backing came off, put that on the other end of my purse strap. Okay. Now let's do this thing. Last thing I'm gonna do is the string, because I don't actually have to rope it through. I can just put it on top of the hole there. So we're gonna grab our backing lifter here, and we'll start layering all of our pieces. So first up is my little bag, my little tote bag. And I'm just placing that tote bag for some dimension right over the other tote bag. So it should be fairly easy to line it up because it's just going over the same thing. Then I'm going to grab my strap. We're going to grab our strap if you're making this along with me here. We're going to place our strap over the strap that's already on there. So again, should be pretty easy to line up. Okay. Then we're going to grab our set of peach flowers here. We're going to place those peach flowers right over these 2 peach flowers that are in front here, kind of following the ones that are underneath and behind, except for these ones are going to go over, like they're coming out of the bag, coming over the front of the bag. So that's nice and lined up. We're just adding dimension to the project. Then we've got another single one here. That single one is going to go over this one here. Again, it's matchy, lining up just perfect. Then we've got 2 single yellow flowers. And I believe these ones are going to go over these 2 here. Just find them a match. Super easy. Okay, and then this tag, because it's going over the bag, you can see that's why it only has one dimensional, because the one dimensional is going to sit over the edge here, and the other one's going to be right over that strap. So we're placing it there. Then the circle is over the strap there, the hole, and then we are going to add this. Now, I think they haven't really given me any glue dots, so I'm guessing they actually did want me to wrap it around there. But I'm going to do something called a faux dot, and I'm actually going to grab some glue dots. Just give me 1 second. Grab a glue dot, because a glue dot will make this so much easier. Now, normally they would give you a sheet of glue dots, but I'm just going to pull in our glue dots that we have right here. And I'm going to place a glue dot in that hole, and then I'm just going to tie a bow and add it to the front. So they're asking for 12 inches of ribbon. So I'm using my grid paper here. You can also, you can see right here, there's a ruler on the side, on the side of the instructions. You can use that ruler. So if you're camping or out and about, even in a sitting in a coffee shop doing your kit, you've got everything you need. So that's 12 inches. That's going to be a heck of a long bow. I can see if I was tying it through. I'm going to shorten mine to 8 inches, just because I know I can tie a bow with 8 inches, and that will leave me some extra string at the end. So then I just make 2 bows. I'm going to make 2 bows right here, like this. I'm just going to tie those through and together. Tie your bow whatever way you want to tie your bow. And there we go. I've got a bow. I am going to be a little bit more finicky with it. But as you can see, like, I've got lots of extra tails on these. This is quite a big, and my loops are fairly big. I'm going to tighten them because I want it to be not as huge bow on the front of the card. Some people really like big loopty bows. I could even do a double bow with this probably. Might be a little bit tight. But yeah, it just called for a single. So then I'm going to take a glue dot from my glue dots here, and I'm going to place my bow on the glue dot, and then I'm going to squeeze the adhesive kind of underneath my bow there. Let's squeeze it in like that. Pick off that glue dot. I'm going to place that right in the circle there. And that's my cheat. I don't want to tie the bow around the hole. I think that's too finicky. So I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm cheating on the instructions. I'm breaking the rules to make my life easier. So you might take that tip, you might not, but to me, that's way easier. So yeah, having adhesives and extra things are kind of, you know, nice to have around. And again, I'm going to use the edge of my block because I don't have a bone folder. And I'm just going to fold my card. I just burnished my card edge there. Fabulous, cute little card. Looks like a farmer's market little bag of flowers. Wildflowers. Okay, so there's number 2. We're just going here. Okay, and number 3. Again, we're doing the inside of the card, so I'm going to pull these little pieces aside. And I have to flip my card up, and it's going to open like that. So we're going to go like this. Stamp inside my card, clean that one off. Pull in my flowers again. And to say thank you. So that's going to take 2 stamps, I think. To say ... And thank you, I already had it out. So that's going to be the next thing I stamp. Pull in my secret C. Pull in, oh, this is so cute. Sorry, that's way off screen. We're working on card number 3 here. Holy hell, I was way off screen. This is the cutest. This typewriter is going to say just a note, and we're going to tuck it inside. It's going to have a slit in it. Oh, that's so cute. Okay, somebody was thinking about the extra touch on that one, for sure. Okay, flowers first. I'm gonna go up to the top again, towards the top. It's calling for this one to be smack dab center. I'm going a little to the top because I like to write. I think I've already said that twice, but blah, blah, blah. Okay. Second one down here. Again, I've got 2 lines of script, so I got to make sure I leave enough space for both my stamps. Clean that baby off. And I think I'm going to do the thank you first because the to say is a little bit smaller. So I'm going to stamp the bigger sentiment first, just so that I know I'm getting it in there and it's going to fit in properly. And it says to say thank you. So I'm going to put the thank you towards the bottom here, making sure I get that on real good. Clean that one off. Pulling in my next one. Do that, rubbing off that factory stuff. Nice little clean. To say, or not to say. And now I know I can snug it in, I can space it, and I know I have enough room. So that worked out really well. That was a good plan to do that bigger sentiment first. I probably could have done it easy the other way, but I'm just wanting to make sure. So when that folds, that's going to fold like that. Perfect. So I'm going to tuck that under my instructions and start working on the front of my card. Here we go. We're stamping that texture again. And if you hadn't noticed, I mean, I have, because I've noticed this before, I haven't even touched this stamp. So yeah, look at all these cute little pieces, right? I haven't even touched this stamp set yet. But there's a cute little teapot with some flowers, some really great sentiments. If you just have a circle punch, you can punch those out. But yeah, that was a freebie. And every once in a while, they'll just toss in like a little present. Like one time they had this this jungle one, and they tossed in, because I guess, had cut them wrong. This was a few years ago. Because they cut them wrong, according to the instructions, so it would gotten confusing. They tossed in the mistake ones, so we got extra die cuts. They just happened to be the reverse image. So we were able to use them for other fun cards. Okay, this is going to feel weird, but I'm going to add texture right in over this. So we're adding it right from the left here, across our image again. It just feels weird stamping over that. It's like, no, that's pretty just the way it is. So stamping away here. And we're going from left to right. Okay. Cleaning that baby off. Okay. And then we're going to pull in our just a note, and we've got all of our little flowers here. Everything's going to get dimensionals put on it, I'm sure. So our just a note. This isn't even going to show. This is going to get tucked in. But I am going to get the little notches off the top here. There we go. Just a note. Okay, so the only ones I didn't use was 3. There's only 3 that I didn't do. XOXO, which is cute. Forever Your Friend, and Hello. I think I need to add a little bit more water to this. Just spraying water. If you hear now, just spraying some water. Reminds me of the sound we used to make when we used to listen see, what was it? Not Robert Munch. There was a guy who used to sing a song about brushing your teeth. Anybody else know that one? Okay, just a note. So cute. Just a note coming out the top of the typewriter. So cute. Okay, let's pull that baby in. And we're gonna, I think I'm gonna stamp this closer to the top. Yeah, we're doing it kind of over the top half because it is gonna be tucked under. So it'll be interesting to see how they, that's a juicy ink pad. It's okay. Does anybody remember the typewriter? You used to have to press something down and then go in reverse. If you had like where it would pull up it was like whiteout. You could do a whiteout. You could go back and pull up the mistake that you had. And gosh, typing. And then we got keyboards. And so the keyboards are the same. But now these kids are like, it's a very different world. Okay. But yeah, I took typewriting class. We had like the first Apple computers. We did typewriting class, but it was keyboard class, I guess. And we used to do keyboards. And then some of the ladies I knew did typewriting. But yeah, very clickety-clackety. Okay, let's get back to our project here. So we've got to put all of our dimensionals on the back of these again. So let's pull in because these cards were, as far as cards go, these ones were quite simple. So we are going to put our dimensions on the top of our little note here. We're putting dimensions just on the outside edge because you know that paper's got to get in there, right? So we need to make sure that that paper can tuck in. So I'm going to make sure that I'm looking at the edge here so that I'm making sure I can get my stuff tucked in without any drama. No drama llama. I am going to put one on the middle here. Didn't call for one, just for stability. Because my top end is going to be quite flimsy. Okay, and then here and one on each of the flowers here. Sometimes a piece will hold with one dimension, but if you have something large, it's good to have at least 3 points. 3 points on. Okay. So now I'm going to, I think I am going to take all my backings off of this, and my backings off of this. Hoping everyone had a lovely summer too. It's over now. Summer is leaving us. Some people will love that because they don't like the heat, but I like all the seasons as long as I can have them. I guess. Always longing for what I'm about to lose. Also, okay. Just a note, poking out the top of that typewriter. Very cute. Okay, so this one didn't have anything on it. So I guess when you go to put this down, if we've got it originally tucked, that's great. Because now that it's tucked in there, now I can line it up a little bit easier before I stick it down to the one that was printed behind it. So there we go. We've got our just a note in there. Missed one backing on this flower. So again, I just need to find my flowers. Oh no, I don't. This one is a rogue flower. It has nothing underneath it, but it's on the left-hand side here. And I'm just going to pop it over my note card. So it looks like the flowers are growing over my card. Over my note. And then I've got the other two over here on this side. And they're kind of covering up another flower too, but you're not matching on this one. So you put them whatever way you want. So there's my just a note. And there's no twine on this card either. So the only twine that's being used is for that one card. And I mean, okay, so if I called for 12 inches 2 times, like you're going to have a ton of twine left over. As you can see, there's a ton of it left over. So if you want to add twine to your cards, add some extra twine. Like, it would look so cute with like a little bow there or a little bow, adding a little bow. So there's not really a ton of embellishments on these cards. They don't really have any gems or anything. They're very simple, like a simple, very organic kind of card, which is nice sometimes to just have something simple. So that's our 3 cards. So I will close this baby up. Put that in the center. Lots of dimensionals left. Again, we're only using 1/3 of these, so you'll have extra left over is what I'm trying to say. You will have extra left over. So we'll put those aside. Remember, you get 2 stamp sets with this one. So we'll tuck that in the bottom there. You get a freebie stamp set. 1, 2, 3, and then here is your cute envelope with your little envelope flap. So that's our instructions for Farmhouse Florals. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. And just to go show you just how simple they are, some of them have a little bit more dimensions or fun folds, but it's the Paper Pumpkin is a lovely, lovely monthly subscription that just gets you creating. And then if he gets your creative juices flowing, you just go from here, right? You just run over and be like, I gotta keep going. I'm having so much fun. And I'm very inspired now. So it just, yeah. And again, they're very packable. So you can take them with you when you go places. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate your support. And we'll talk to you next time. Thank you. Bye.